Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Endzone 2. We are back in Newtown, where we recently brought power to the city. We're building a battery as well because our town have requested that. We've also got some contaminated resources and damaged buildings that we need to deal with. Now currently this damaged building here needs lead to repair it, this house here. We don't have access to lead yet, but we can buy some from Rusty Rolf. So we are going to have a look at what he's got so that we can actually trade that with him. If we have a quick look here, you can see there's lead right there. We do also have a lead mine. It is restored. We've stopped operation, but we're going to start it up again. We're going to put a couple of people working in there at some point. Actually, we'll stop the production there for now because our population currently is a bit all over the place. We have 204 living spaces and they are all currently taken up by residents. So we're going to build some more huts because right now I can't actually expand to a house because we don't have glass or anything yet. So we're going to build a new hut. We will build it here and we'll build another one right next to it. What's that? That's a power pole. Right, we're going to have to sort that out. So let's shift that electricity pole to here. I think it still fits in place there. That one does actually there. So we'll get rid of this one. And then we'll build another hut in the gap that's been created by it. That's gone now. We can put the hut in. Now, do these all have power? Let's have a quick look at our energy network. Newtown is currently not doing so well. It is kind of using the power. The biogas plant is just kind of going to get it up and running. You can see here the biogas plant produces 1020 power per minute. And we're only using just over half of that, so we're fine at this moment in time for that. That's good. We can build these two huts and then our population will start to increase, which is going to allow us to do the things that we need to do. But let's have a quick look because I wonder if moving that power cable has messed things up somewhat. We've got power there. We don't have any power to that building, unfortunately. This one does give it power and we can just about reach in there as well, so we'll put that in. Battery's finished and we can now increase our electricity capacity, which is great. So we're now storing power in that battery. We're getting people coming in. We've built some new huts, which means people are going to have space to go and move into. What we can also do though is build this shelter. Now that allows 50 people to just live there. It changes things a little bit, so we're going to put a shelter here. Now the shelter has 50 people move into it, which means we can boost our population quite largely and allow younger people to move into the surrounding huts and houses and stuff, which is really good. This restored house, obviously they need a wishing tree, they want a pavilion as well nearby, and I can actually build those. So let's have a look over here where we've got a park, we've got paper mill. It is in decorations, I guess, then. No, it's not. So it should be in community buildings. We're looking for the pavilion. There it is. Oh, the pavilion can just go there. It's not quite in range of everything, but we'll put the pavilion in anyway. And they also would like a wishing tree. Now, I do have the wishing tree unlocked. I'm going to build that here. That would put it in range of a lot of areas. This one does also, so let's just put the wishing tree down there. It covers a large amount of our settlement, but not all of it. We could move the bar around as well and stuff, but we've got a few items here that I do like to keep in. But once the wishing tree is built, you can see our population is going to start to increase. We still don't have enough available workers for everything, but while that's happening, we're going to build our sand mine. I think that is in raw materials. There it is, sand mine, and we need to put it on the sandbank here. It needs to have access to water. We can just about fit it in here somewhere, I would imagine. There, goes in there. So we'll put it somewhere just on the edge, I guess. I think it probably needs to come down a bit. Yeah, this terrain isn't great for it, to be honest. We can get it in there and just change the path of that road a little bit. So let's go to our road menu. We'll demolish all of this road here. Then we'll put in our sand mine. Right there. Then we will link it up with the road. I think that's where the power was. Yeah. So we'll move this as well. Just demolish that. And then we will put in a new electricity pole right here. Then get a road in, finish off. Perfect. Now, hopefully that's linked up. Yeah, it is, definitely. Great. So, fiber production is going up, which is really nice. That's what we want to see. Scrap is coming down, unfortunately. So, maybe it's time to build the scrap recycling center. And if we build that near to a source of scrap, I think I've got a scrapyard out here. Yes. Is there anywhere nearby what they can go to? I don't... Oh, yeah, they can. They can come down here. So they can come down there and get rid of that. I think I have another scrapyard somewhere. Yes, this one here. Now, they are completely out of range. There's nothing around, really, apart from, like, the odd bit of scrap that's just been dumped somewhere. So this is probably going to be where we put our recycling center. And we can put it here. We need 120 units of scrap, which we don't have. So, again, where's our Pathfinder gone? Pathfinder is currently at Medici. It is dropping off bricks because we're going to use them to get the iodine mine back up and running. And then we're going to be able to have people start producing iodine. Good. Right, over here, what have they got? Have they got scrap? Yes, they've got a lot of scrap. So I'm going to take a large chunk of the scrap from this area. We're going to come back down over to here. Then we're going to build our sand mine. We're also going to build our recycling center. The recycling center is going to be the first thing we build because we're going to need that. We also need iron. So because it's not really doing anything, we'll have our pioneer go and do that. So we can take in some of these. Oh, we can also dump that scrap. Didn't see that there. And we'll take all of the rubber gloves as well. We'll go to Rusty Rolf and we'll trade with Rusty Rolf to get some more iron. Good. Right. All of this is so that we can get decontamination kits produced, which is going to take a little bit of work. The other thing that I'm a little bit worried about is the food situation here. And we can build farms. So it might well be that a farm is the next best thing for us. So if we go to food, we can build an upgraded farm, which does require fertile soil and water. That's something that we do need to be very aware of. But if we can get the farm in, do we have power here? These don't need power. Do they have power? Foraging hut doesn't need power either. Tree nursery doesn't need power. The water tower doesn't need power. What about over here? Yes, they need power, and they have plenty of power, so the fishery is producing really nicely. Our food is okay, actually. It's not going to go down, but my worry is that over time it will. Now, lupine is high quality, and it produces a lot of food per minute. So we're going to have that be our seed. We're then going to plant in this space here. We're just going to go behind there a little bit, and then we're going to have it kind of come out to here as well. And then further up, actually no, we're not. We're going to plant again down to here. That takes it to 95, and then we'll fill in the last bits here. There we go. So there's nobody working there right now, but we can now put 5 people to work there. And you can see we've got 27 available workers. So good. Right, so far so good. We are going to exchange all of this scrap with our settlement. That goes in. Then we're going to head down to Rolf, where we've got a waiting transport there in the Pioneer. We're going to drop all of this off, and we're going to buy iron off him. We'll give him a few back, take us maxed out there, and then we're going to come back to our main settlement. And again, we still haven't built the bridge. This is perfect. So our food now, we're producing 222 units of lupine per minute. We've got a road link, we've got a depot, and we've got good education. So the food here, whilst contaminated, is being produced really well. Then we need iron tools here, actually. So getting that iron probably wasn't the greatest idea, but we'll drop all of the iron off. Then we're going to go to the Pathfinder. Again, we're going to exchange some goods with the settlement. We are going to grab more rubber gloves and gas masks. And then we are going to head back down to Rolf and buy some iron tools this time. Now, I could, theoretically, have some of my production houses here. Where are they? Not the tailor's workshop or the weaving mill. Not the electronics workshop either. The workshops here, we could have them produce iron tools instead. So let's do that, because they'll start turning the iron into iron tools. And then actually what I can do instead here is I can trade with Rolf to get more iron again. I think that's probably going to be better. But let's get some lead to start with. That's a lot of lead. Yeah, we'll leave the iron and we'll just take on that lead. Then we'll head back and drop that off. Because I think we actually need lead for other stuff. So that's going to be built now. The sand mine is underway. We've then got iron tools that we're going to need for the recycling center. But the sand mine now, we can then start looking at producing glass in the glass makers. Now, to unlock the glassworks, we need 25 units of sand, which we aren't going to be able to get until we've got enough of the tools that we need to create our recycling center. But our tools are getting made pretty quickly. Iron is obviously going to be the next thing we need to look at getting. And this slow method of growth has been really, really helpful. So that's our recycling center getting built, which will now secure our scrap for the long term. We need a sand digger in here. They have electricity, so they are going to be producing a lot per minute. If we had a generalist or someone specialized in economy, that would increase and that would be better. But for now, getting the sand is really, really helpful. And we're getting quite a lot, so that's great. Looking over here then, we need 25 units of sand for our glassworks, and we have quite a lot already. Now, fiber is starting to become an issue, so we maybe need to build another upgraded plantation. I think that's probably a good idea. So, going over to our upgraded plantation, we can use this land here, and we'll put one there, and then we will start to build there. So the radiation is going to increase very soon. We need to be careful of that. But right now, Newtown is expanding really nicely. I am, like I said, worried logistically about our upgraded food depots. So I'm going to build another one of them right here. And I'll build another one. Let's build one here. That'll give us more food storage, which is fantastic. That's what we need. We are going to have 3 people working in the plantation, and we are going to plant our seeds over here like that. That's maxed out, which is great. But maybe then we remove this from here, because I could probably fit another plantation there at a later date if I needed to. And then let's just try and fill in this area here instead. That takes us to 85. That takes us to 100. Yeah, that's better. Right, so fibers should start to increase quite nicely. We've got plenty of electricity coming in. Medici, I think, is maxed out on electricity. They're not going to need any more. And then over in Newtown, we've just got to start dealing with the decontamination, or the overly contaminated resources we have. We can unlock our glassworks now. Then, what do we need for our decontamination kits? So the decontamination lab produces kits. We need to be near coal and iodine. We're not going to be near iodine, but we might as well be near coal. Now we have a coal mine here, so let's build that right there. So the decontamination lab will take coal and iodine. Speaking of iodine, we have now restored this, so we can get people to work in there. And then over here, I think we should probably upgrade these huts. But we need glass and we need steel beams. Now, we don't have many of those. So I think it's probably time to build a shelter here, if I can find the space to do it. because that is a problem. Space in this area is at a massive premium. We can't build on the swampland, which is really frustrating. So it might be that we need to think about what we're going to do here. So we could put it here, but there's nothing nearby. There is a school, but there's nothing else. There's no nearby market, no nearby town centre. If we were to come over here and build it, actually, pharmaceutical lab, if we move that somewhere else, where can we fit that? Will it go here? Oof, okay, right. So the pharmacy, if we build that over here, not in range though. This is the issue with having a very small footprint here. Now the graveyard, can we move that? Right, let's demolish the graveyard. We'll replace it with a... No, we won't replace it with that. We'll put the graveyard back in somewhere else. The graveyard can actually go here. Right, so the graveyard's there. Then, can I now just build my shelter? Yes, okay, good. So the shelter's now getting built. That's going to allow the adult population to move into this space. And we're going to be able to improve our population here, which means we're going to have more workers. So the iodine mine can really get some stuff produced. Then we can transport that iodine back to Newtown, where it will create decontamination kits. Again, a request for a big party. We will do that. Innovation. Okay. And then seedlings. Okay, right. So this is good. This means that they're going to be able to get some seedlings done. But you can see here the soil radioactivity is beginning to get out of control. And we need to sort that. We've got a building here that requires repair. And we know that it's lead that it needs. Even though we have just... I think we've got lead. We have just dropped a load of lead off. Oh, we haven't yet unloaded it. That's why. So we put the lead in. Those buildings will get repaired. Over here, we now have the decontamination lab. They're going to use coal and iodine to make decontamination kits, which we already have 31 of. Then, over here at the sand mine, we have somebody working away on that. We should have unlocked the glassworks, which is good. And we need 10 units of iron to build that glassworks. So, again, we exchange with our settlement. We'll bring gas masks and gloves. And then we will head back down to Rolf to get them done. You can see here we've got some radiated settlers. We have 55 settlers who can go into work now. So if we have a quick look at our professions, you can see a lot can be done here. I'm going to take on some more salvagers and recyclers and foresters. We're going to go with clay diggers. And let's put the lumberjacks up a little bit as well. Charcoal burners are fine. Actually, we don't need people in the charcoal burners because we've got the coal mines. So that's fine. We'll put them up. And we'll put the brick makers up as well. And the brewers. And then undertakers we'll max out as well. So we now have a very sizable population. We have got the scrapyard here. Decontamination lab there. This scrapyard now has nothing in range. They are really, really scrapping stuff quite quickly. Material depot, scrapyard, and the recycling center here will generate scrap around itself. So here, they're just going to go to that recycling center and grab the scrap as it comes. We're going to probably build another one over here as well. Again, we need 20 units of iron for that. So we don't have that yet. Down here at Rolf, we can get some. So again, we'll drop all of this off. We'll bring in some iron. Trade that. Leave the trading post and then head back. Then, if we have a look at our decontamination station, which I think is in community buildings. No. Is it in logistics? Yes, here we go. The upgraded decontaminator is the one we want. So they remove radiation from the environment. It is going to be huge to have this up and running. So I'm going to put one here. Right there. We're then going to put another one down here. Or over here maybe. One there. We'll put another one there. And another one here. And another one here. And that just about covers most of our area. So we have a look. We've got one here that is now up and running. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to work there. And they will start cleaning the soil. And if we have a look where our next one is, this one was also built. So we'll put 5 to work there. Another one here, where we'll put 5 to work. And then over here, we haven't yet built that one. We go back to here where this one hasn't been built either because we need tools. So once our iron tools have been stocked up again, we can start purging the land of all of the contaminated soil, contaminated resources. All of that will start to go. Over in our lab, we have no iodine. But over in Medici, we are producing iodine quite rapidly. And they are supplied with power, but they don't have iron tools. So they are going to need a production of iron tools to be created so that we can keep this going. Otherwise, they just won't work. So, looking at our upgraded workshop here, we are producing iron tools, and as long as we have a supply of iron that's coming in, we're going to be able to keep that going. Right now, we don't have a regular supply of that because we need to access that in the new zone. And we don't seem to have anywhere on our 3 maps here that have iron. It's all coal and clay, fertile soil and stuff. There's a lead mine, which we knew about. There's the iodine mine, which we've already restored. There's an old wind turbine here, which we can actually rebuild at some point. That's going to give us power. But here you can see the contamination level is starting to drop. The soil radioactivity is going down, and the contaminated resources are starting to be cleaned as well. We have a drought, so we're going to need to be very, very careful of that. The only settlement that I'm really worried about is Newtown. And then the Pioneer here is fine. We are going to need to build something else, though. So it's time to look at this bridge, where we are going to need an engineer. Looking at our Pathfinder, we have an engineer ready. And we are going to bring in some wood and some scrap. I think that's what we needed. I'm going to head back over to the bridge. Yep, wood and scrap and an engineer. Now, this is where things might get very tough, because we are about to open up the world to the potential raiders. Here we go. We know we needed our engineer here to go to this defect. They will repair the bridge. And the bridge is now open. Now this could get scary. So I think what we're going to do is, before we finish today's episode, now that we've done the bridge, we're going to grab the last of the loot from this barrel here. We're going to end our expedition. We are going to drop off here, and then we are going to build a bunker. The bunker is a defensive fortification that we can build in the wasteland. So we need iron, lead, and scrap. So we're going to bring in iron, lead, and scrap. We needed 5 units of iron, so that's good. We've got that. We're going to come down here and we're going to build a bunker on these areas. So let's build our bunker. I'm going to build it here, right on our side of the bridge. We still need 75 units of scrap, so we're going to have to go back. We're going to load in some more scrap. It was scrap tools I loaded in, that's why. Back down to the bridge. Build the bunker. Right here. Now this bunker just needs to be equipped with an armament. We can actually go back. In fact, let's build another one. Right here. So we've built 2 bunkers now. We're going to go back up to our settlement. We'll trade, dropping these off, and then we do have a heavy cannon and a light cannon. We can't put these into that, but we can put them in the Pathfinder. So we'll take both of them and we'll head down and we will install the armament. We'll put the heavy cannon there and then we'll put the light cannon there. And that is our bunkers armed. So we can now, next episode, start exploring. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of Endzone 2. Been a good one. We've made some progress. We now have some defensive bunkers up and running. We are starting to produce glass, which should allow Medici to expand even further. We've got some really nice food production going there. We are starting to decontaminate our settlement. Things are starting to look much better with iodine coming in as well. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.